as long on top of it being a great glute exercise. That hasn't changed. So you see here, guys, same cues. You're not going to want to let that weight control you. It'll be a little bit harder to not let that weight control you, especially with the unilateral variation of this weight. So you're going to make sure you're controlling that weight all the way through, getting the most out of every rep, bringing that weight all the way up to the top, bringing it all the way to the bottom. There you go. Keep going, guys. So now we're going to switch sides. Now we got the left side. It doesn't matter which way you go. It's just personal preference. Again, control that weight, y'all. Keep pushing. We're almost there. Speeding it up a little bit here. So again, guys, you're going to want to make sure you're controlling that weight, not speeding it up too much. And next up, we'll have some wide stance kettlebell swings. So here we're starting the wide stance, set up here with a little bit wider stance than you did in the first swing. So kind of the same deal as I was saying with the squats, guys. If your goal is to have a normal stance, you don't want to go wide. But if your goal is to have a wide stance to target those hips and glutes even more so, then that is optimal, which is what we're doing right now. So you're going to want to have those legs about, I'd say probably 4 to 6 inches outside of your shoulder width, depending on whatever you're comfortable with. But yeah, same cues as last time, guys. Stretching the bottom, squeeze those glutes up at the top. Don't let that weight control you. Control that weight. Keep going, guys. We got a little bit left of this. A few more reps. Then we're going to move on to the next modality, which is the cables, weighted cables. I love weighted cables. They're very versatile. They can be used for many different things. First up here, we got some bicep curls. So with these bilateral bicep curls, you're going to want to make sure you're controlling the weight all the way through the movement. I would say the most common mistake, well, first I'll get into the setup. Setup of this, pretty easy, guys. You're going to want to make sure you bring that cable down to your feet as low as it'll go. I'll typically set it on just so I can make sure I get that full stretch in the movement. This is the bicep curl, as you know, so this will be working the biceps. Common mistakes, like I was saying, is going to be not taking advantage of this full rep, guys. So you have this full range of motion all the way from the top, as you see, all the way down to the bottom. And often I'll see guys speed up tougher portions of the lift to kind of avoid that pain, or skip entire portions of the lift. They'll stop right there, like at that 90-degree angle of the elbows. And you're not getting the full stretch, full capability of the lift, guys. So make sure we're pushing through that pain, y'all. We're almost there. We're a little bit over halfway after this exercise. So keep it up, guys. You're doing great so far. Just make sure we're controlling each and every rep, y'all. Next up, we got some unilateral versions of this. So you thought this burned. This next one's gonna burn even more. Now for the unilateral, personally, I like this one over the bilateral cable curl. It's a little bit better for my wrists, and as you see here, I have a handle that kind of allows me to throw a little twist in there. Like this isn't a hammer curl, so you're not going to want to have a 90-degree or upright wrist, but you can have a little curl in the wrist as well if it's comfortable. This one, guys, same setup. Get that cable as low as it's going to go. Turn your back to the cable instead of facing the cable this time, and curl away, guys. So you're going to want to stop kind of like right there where the arm straightens out, right next to the body, and you're going to want to finish right at the top. I kind of like to use my opposing hand to put a hand on the bicep that's being worked. It helps a little bit with the mind muscle connection, in my opinion. Helps me feel that bicep a little bit more and not use helping muscles as much. So again, guys, nice, slow, and controlled. It's gonna burn, but that's how we build muscle, guys. So next up, we're gonna move on to the other side, and I'll let you guys watch the rest of this. Keep pushing, y'all. You got this, and I'll catch up with you in the next exercise. All right, guys. So wrapping up the upper body portion of the weighted cables, we're going to be doing some supinated curls. This is going to be good for the lower portion of the bicep as well as the upper portion of the forearm. So with these guys, you're really going to want to make sure you emphasize the control on these. The forearms are very delicate muscles. You're not going to want to stress them all too much with too much weight or too much speed. They're really good at long, dexterous work, not so good at fast, powerful work. Common mistakes I see with this, guys, are definitely going to be speeding it up, using too heavy of a weight and kind of curling the wrist. As you see at the top of the movement, my wrists stay straight in line with my forearm. That is proper form. You don't want to be bending at the wrist. That's definitely the most common mistake. Setup is going to be the identical to the other two cable exercises. Lowest cable goes and curl away. I'll catch up with you guys in the next one. All right, so now we're moving on to the lower body portion of the weighted cables modality. We are going to be doing a couple variations of glute kickbacks. So first one, we're going to be doing straight-legged glute kickbacks. So with this one, guys, you're going to basically kind of imagine your body is like a bow and arrow in a way. You're going to be having a little bend in the center, not too bent over, not too stood up, but a nice athletic bend. And you're going to create tension on your bow or your body by pushing that leg back. Make sure to keep that leg in a nice athletic position. It won't be completely straight. I know the name implies a completely straight leg. However, it is going to be slightly bent in a nice braced position. Now we're going to be switching to the other side. This is, again, a unilateral exercise, so you'll be doing one leg at a time. Like you see, I like to balance myself with my hand leaning forward so I don't fall. Makes this lift a whole lot easier. So at the top, guys, you're going to make sure you want to squeeze that glute or buttock. And in the bottom, you're going to want to make sure you feel that nice controlled stretch. So as you see here, guys, when I lower this weight, I'm lowering it with my glute. I'm not letting the weight fall as gravity would let it if I kind of just loosen my leg. But you're not going to want to do that. You're going to want to make sure you keep that tension on that glute throughout the entire lift. But anyways, I will catch up with you guys in the next glute exercise. All right, so now we're doing a side glute kick out. So this is basically the same as the last one, just essentially going to be doing it to the side. So this is going to be really good for that outer hip and outer glute. Setup's going to be the same as the last, and the bicep curls, as a matter of fact, you're going to get the cable, put it on the lowest setting, not the weight, but the lowest height setting. You're going to attach the cable to your foot with some kind of band or strap. As you see here, I'm actually using a little D handle, mainly used for curls or chest flies, but I've makeshifted a little ankle strap out of it. So you're going to want to push these legs out, guys. Really make sure you have that nice contraction up at the top of the movement. Feel that nice stretch at the bottom. Same as last, guys. You're going to make sure you want to feel that strain all the way through the movement. You're not going to want to let gravity take over and drop that weight for you. But yeah, guys, keep it up, keep pushing, feel that strain, feel that burn. Next up, we got some more glute kickback, so it's not over just yet, but this is the last weighted cable exercise. So now here, as you see, we got some donkey glute kickbacks. So the first one, we kind of had our legs straight, as I said, implied the name. But this one, as implied by the name, donkey kickbacks, you're going to have kind of a donkey leg. You're going to imagine yourself, or imagine a donkey kicking someone that's behind it, and you're going to have that nice bend in your leg. So as you see here at the top of the movement, I'm getting that nice 90-degree bend, and at the bottom of the movement, I have that nice 90-degree bend, and at the top of the movement, I'm getting that leg almost straight, as you saw in that first kickback. But this is going to be really good. This is going to basically have the same effect as the first kickback, except you're going to be getting a little bit more stretch in that glute. So as you see here, I'm doing the other side. Again, guys, nice, slow, and controlled. Not rushing through any of these exercises. Not letting gravity take over and just drop that weight for you, feeling that strain on that glute through the whole time. But yeah, let's wrap up this little glute workout, little cable workout, and I will see y'all in the next modality, which will be calisthenics. We're going to lead off with some pull-ups. All right, guys. So now moving to the calisthenics or bodyweight portion of the workout, we're going to be leading off with some pull-ups. As you see here, I got a little weighted assisted pull-up going on. I don't know about you guys, but I can't perform many pull-ups without assistance very well. So in this video, to show y'all proper form and execution, I am using some weighted assistance. Obviously, with this being a true bodyweight workout, you would not want to use assistance and just use your body weight. But in this scenario, I am, and if you need to, you sure can start off with this and work your way up to body weight. Common mistakes I see is setting your arms too wide or too narrow. With this one, we're going to want to have a nice neutral grip. There are exercises that do have wide and narrow grips, which we will actually get into later. But for this one, we're going to want to have a neutral grip. Contraction through the whole movement. Feel a stretch through the whole movement. But anyways, guys, we got the next pull-up variation, which is going to be a wider grip pull-up variation. My camera woman switched angles here, which is honestly not ideal. I kind of wish I could show you all the back angle of this. It shows the grip a little bit better, but you can get a good idea of my grip here. So as you saw in the first one, I was using the more narrow grip, narrow handles. In this one, I kind of have maxed out this machine and have put my arms as wide as they'll let me. This is going to be a great lat exercise. You're going to be feeling that burn all through those lats. Those kettlebell rows, they were a good lat exercise. This is arguably the best lat exercise. Common mistakes I see with this one is people really will let gravity take control on this one. I've seen, just because the lats are a weaker muscle generally, people will drop themselves and not let those muscles contract how they should. But other than that, it's pretty hard to mess up, guys. You're gonna want to make sure you hit the top of the rep every time, not doing half reps, and make sure you get that full stretch at the bottom. Let those elbows fully extend. You don't want to keep those elbows bent halfway through. As you see there, I kind of struggled with that last rep. That's how it should be, guys. Next up, we got the supinated grip pull-ups. This is going to be a great lower lat and bicep exercise. Many people often cite gymnasts for having really good arms, and many people often cite this exercise for the reason why. I would have to agree with that. It's a great exercise for back and arms. You're going to be pulling with all that in this exercise, getting that body completely up. With this one, you're going to have your hands facing the other way as the other two, so supinated, palms facing towards you. Going to be pulling with those elbows, kind of like the kettlebell rows we were talking about earlier, driving with those elbows. You're going to be really feeling that with this one. You're almost pulling yourself up with the elbows, all the muscles underneath, and those lats. Again, nice, slow, and controlled. I'll catch up with you guys in the next exercise. Keep it up, y'all. All right, y'all. So now we're moving on to the lower body portion of the calisthenics modality. I have chosen to do calf raises and a couple variations of calf raises. So first off, we are going to be starting with a neutral stance calf raise. This is going to be toes pointed in front of us. Not going to have our toes any funky way. That's probably the most common mistake I see here, is toes pointed in or toes pointed out. However, we will be touching on those later. However, right now, that is not our goal. So we're going to have those toes pointed forward. Most common mistake I see with these is probably going to be doing reps way too fast. Guys, they start doing calf raises and they hammer a bunch out and they think, oh, I did 20, 30, 50 reps of calf raises. Why are my calves growing? And it's typically because they aren't controlling the rep. So this rep, calves are all about controlling that negative of the rep, controlling that descent down to the ground, not letting gravity take over. Next up, we got, like I said, toes pointed in or pigeon-toed calf raises. So this one is going to be targeting more of the outside of the calf rather than the last one, which is going to target kind of the whole calf. This one, you'll feel it nice burn in the outside kind of shin area and the outside most visible corner of the calf muscle. Same as last one, guys, really slow and controlled. The descent is definitely the major working portion of this lift, so you're going to want to control that descent back to the ground. And again, guys, just another great calf exercise. Keep it up. Next up, we got a different toe positioning that's going to target the inside of the calf, and I'll see you then. All right, y'all. So now we're moving on to the last portion of the calisthenics lower body section. We're going to be doing some ostrich toe calf raises, excuse me, or toes pointed out calf raises. So basically, it's going to be the opposite of the pigeon toed calf raise. Instead of toes pointed in, you'll have toes pointed out. Like I said, this is going to target more of that inner calf, more of that kind of the part that's most shapely, the part that you see the most. This is going to be great for that. Again, guys, same as the other ones, control that descent nice and slow. That's going to be the major working portion. Y'all are doing great. We're actually on the last modality after this, so keep it up, guys. Just one more thing to go. We're going to be doing some medicine ball work here in a second. So like I said, guys, nice, slow, controlled. Keep it up. We're almost done with this set. I think we did 25 reps per set here. All right. So next up, we got the medicine ball crunches. That is what I have chosen for my medicine ball upper body activity. Common mistake here, I'm already seeing it a little bit in my lift, is letting those feet come up. You want to try to keep those feet as still as possible. I should have had something kind of sit on top of my feet in this scenario, and you guys probably should as well, especially anytime you do a weighted pull up, or excuse me, weighted sit up or chin up. It's going to be kind of hard to keep that butt planted, keep those feet planted. But as you see here, I'm doing my best to do so, and I'd say I did a pretty good job. I'm not scooting all over the floor too much. But common mistake I see with these guys, same as the calf raises actually, is going to be letting gravity take over. Don't let gravity take over. Control that descent down to the bottom. Feel that nice burn in those abdomen muscles, all the abs. Next up, we'll be incorporating some different variations of this to stretch the abs and also target different portions of the abs. Speaking of, now we're starting the next one. This is going to be crunches of the medicine ball with a touch at the top. So basically, at the bottom of the rep or top of the rep, however you look at it, you're going to extend that medicine ball over your head, touch the ground. This is going to basically force you to get that nice good stretch in the abdomen, when before you weren't really forced to do so. It was only optional. So here, guys, same thing, same common mistakes as last time. Don't let that butt skip. Don't let those feet skip, or at least do your best to not do so. And get that ball all the way to the ground. Get that full stretch, get that full contraction at the top. And keep it up, guys. We only got one more exercise in the medicine ball category for upper body. All right, y'all. So now moving on to the last but not least of the upper body medicine ball exercises. So with this one, we're going to be doing a half crunch with a twist on either side. So right, touch one, left, touch one. That is going to be 1 rep. So as you guys see here, I continue to do that. You're going to want to make sure you slow this down, guys. Don't go too fast. You're not going to get as much out of the workout as you could. This is going to be great for those side abdominals, those oblique muscles. This is the muscle you see on all the David statues and old Greek statues and such. So if you want a Greek body, this is the exercise to do so. Again, guys, keep that butt planted as much as possible. Keep those feet as still as much as possible. Really, really feel this in the abdomen. And keep it up, y'all. We're almost there. Next up, we just got the lower body medicine ball workouts, and then we'll actually be done with our workout, and we'll get on to our cool down. So keep it up, y'all. Y'all have done great so far. Keep pushing. All right, y'all. So now we'll be moving on into the lower body portion of the medicine ball modality. We're going to be starting off with some front crunches. Front lunges. Sorry, guys. Front lunges. So as we did in our warm-ups earlier, we're going to be doing these again, but with some weight here in the form of a medicine ball. I think I'm using a 12-pound ball in this. You can really use whatever weight you're comfortable with. Just something that's nice and controllable. Not too heavy, obviously. You don't want to be barely picking this thing up to do these lunges. So with these guys, same as the warm-ups, nice, slow, and controlled. Feel that stretch down in the bottom. This is going to be great for the glutes, the hams, the quads. This will be good for the whole leg. Common mistakes would just be I see people speeding this one up a little bit too much, or keeping that medicine ball too far out in front of them. You want to keep it nice, tight to the body, nice and controlled there. It's safer there rather than being too far out. It's more of a risk when it's far out. You could drop it on your toes and such. So keep it up, guys. Next up, we got some side lunges. So this one's basically just the first one, but to the side, guys. So it's just a variation of the movement. So with this one, you're going to make sure you get a nice wide stance, get nice deep in the bottom. This one is going to be a little bit harder to get deeper, guys. I do understand. As you can see here, I'm not getting quite as deep, and I am struggling to get down there. This is not an easy exercise by any means. I know it looks like it may be easy, but it is not, I assure you. So guys, same cues as the other one. Really nice slow and controlled reps. Get a nice stretch at the bottom. As you see there, I switch my grip up. Grip on the ball really does not matter as long as it's not too far out in front of you, like I stated in the previous one. When it's too far out in front of you, it could lead to injury. Don't want to drop that heavy ball on the toes. Keep it up, guys. We're actually moving on to the last workout of the video. Way to go, y'all. Keep pushing. Last one, guys. So now we're going to be doing the same as the front lunges, but in reverse. So this is a back lunge. So instead of bringing the foreleg out in front of you, you're actually going to bring that hind leg out behind you. So this is going to put more strain on the quadricep of the foreleg and the hind leg, actually, but mainly the foreleg. This one won't be nearly as good of an exercise for the, or not nearly. This one won't be as good of an exercise for the hamstrings and glutes, but will still be an ample exercise for them as well. Just focus more on the quads here. So keep it up, guys. We're about halfway done. Keep pushing, and I will see y'all in the cool down. Way to go, y'all. Way to push through this workout. Y'all have done a wonderful job thus far. Keep it up. We just got the cool down. It's going to be some static stretching, and then we're going to get out of here. Have a great workout, guys. And we finally made it, guys. Way to go. Way to push through that workout. Great job, guys. We're going to get right into this cool down. This is going to be 10 minutes straight of static stretching, y'all. We're going to want to get all that lactic acid out of the muscles, get those muscles nice and ready for recovery, guys. Remember, muscles aren't made in the gym. Muscles are made in the bedroom and not in the way you think. Sleep is very, very key to muscle growth. But first, we're going to be starting off with some seated toe touches. I thought this would be a nice variation on the standing since we just got done with a workout. This will allow a nice, good stretch on those hamstrings, those Achilles tendons, and the glutes. Next, we're going to be moving on to the L-sit, or single leg seated toe touch. This one's basically going to be the same as the last one, guys, just with the opposite leg bent than the one you're stretching. This is going to allow you to get into a nice, deeper stretch position, at least for me personally. I find this one to be more suited for my needs and my training than the double leg. I think this one's just a little bit smoother on the body for me. All right, guys, so after those L-sits, we're going to be doing some seated leg spread toe touches. So this is going to be really good for that inner hip, inner thigh kind of area. This will be really good for all that. I kind of like to see, as you see here, reach down the middle, kind of get those legs started before I reach to my legs. This is, like I said, going to be great for those hamstrings, back of the leg. This is great for the inner hip. This feels really, really nice after a good squat day. Next up, we've got this, but a single leg variation of it, basically. So we're going to be leaning to the right first, excuse me, left first, my right now, watching this video, but left during the video. We're going to be doing this unilaterally, just like I said in the L sit, allowing us to get a nice deeper stretch in the bottom of this stretch, really getting all that lactic acid out of there and getting that blood back in there so that way we can recover fast for our next workout. Keep it up, guys. We got a few more stretches left, and then we'll be wrapping it up. All right, so right here we're going to be performing some butterfly stretches. I am very biased towards a butterfly stretch. This is probably one of, if not my favorite stretch of all time, static or dynamic, regardless. Advanced butterfly stretchers can get their heels all the way to their pelvis while maintaining their knees on the ground. As you can see, I am not that. But what matters is we're doing our best, guys. So you're going to want to make sure you pull those heels as close as you can to the pelvis while maintaining a low knee or a knee to the ground. Either one works. Just make sure you're feeling that nice, good stretch on the inside of your thigh and those nice inner thigh abductor muscles. This is going to be wonderful for all that. Next up, we've got some crossbody toe touches. So these are going to be great for the outer thigh. I really enjoyed these. I learned these in football while I played football in high school. All the other stretches we've done thus far have been really good for the inner thigh. However, this one's going to really focus on that outer thigh. This is going to be great outer thigh stretch. Just make sure you hold it in the bottom just like the regular toe touch, and I'll catch up with you guys in the next cool down. All right, y'all. So similar to the crossbody or cross-legged toe touches, these are going to be heel-to-toe toe touches. So not quite foot over the other foot, but foot in front of the other foot. This is going to really put an emphasis on the hamstring. This is going to feel a lot similar to the kettlebell and dumbbell, excuse me, not kettlebell, just dumbbell RDLs we did earlier in the workout. This is going to feel really good after those. You're going to get all that lactic acid out, get all that blood flowing in the hamstring. Again, like all the other static stretches, guys, you're going to want a slow, controlled movement throughout the entire thing here. We're not speeding it up. This isn't a race. This isn't a performance at all, actually. We're really just trying to focus on getting that muscle all nice and stretched out, full of blood, ready to heal. Catch y'all in the next cool down. All right, now moving on to the crossbody arm pulls. This is going to be really good for the back, as well as the pecs, as well as the shoulders. You're going to feel this pretty much all throughout the upper body. This is going to be a great upper body stretch overall. Again, like all the other warm-ups, nice, slow, and controlled, guys. I just want to stop and say, way to go on the workout today, guys. We're doing a wonderful job thus far. We're almost done. Only got a few more cool downs to go. Keep it up, guys. Make sure we're getting nice, slow, and controlled stretches through all of this. I'll catch y'all on the next one, okay? All right, so now moving on to probably the least intensive static stretch for this cool down. This is just going to be a little static wrist stretch, guys. So you're just going to put enough force on your fingers to give that wrist a nice good stretch. It's not you're not forcing your wrist back or anything like that right now. We're not flexibility training per se. This is more so just to get the blood back in the muscle, get it ready for repair and full on function next time we want to use it. So nice control, guys. Don't push too hard. Just get the blood back in the forearm and wrist. All right, and now what we are seeing is the Sphinx stretch. This is a yoga position or yoga pose, whatever you'd like to call it. This is going to be a great stretch for the lower back. I often find it hard to find lower back stretches that work for me. This one, however, has worked for me time and time again. So This is a really good one to add to y'all's rotation. Really good for taking the pressure, getting a nice good stretch on that lower back. All right, and next up, I think we got some paused body squats. So this is similar to the body squat warm up we did, but not the same. So this is going to incorporate a pause, hence it being in the dynamic, or excuse me, static stretching portion of this cool down. So with this, you're going to see that instead of shooting up out of the hole, I'm going to be holding it in the hole. I'll be coming up here in a second just to kind of regain my air, if you will, and then come back down, get that blood nice and pumped into the lower leg, the glute, the hamstring, the quad. This is going to be good for all that. Like I said earlier, the squat is just an overall great leg movement. Wonderful overall. So yeah, like I said, guys, nice, slow, controlled here. Get real deep down in the squat. Don't make the mistake of coming up out of this hole too fast, or else it'll just be a normal body squat. Keep it up, guys. This is actually going to be the last scene in this little cycling room. To finish up this cool down, we're actually going to move back to my house in my little home workout area. All right, so now we are in my house wrapping up this little cool down session. Sorry for the quick setting change, but nonetheless, we're going to wrap up this cool down, guys. So first, we're going to start off with this static abductor stretch. We're going to be leaning from left to right, adjusting our feet as we need to, really focusing on getting that nice, deep, good stretch in those abductors and hips. The butterflies were a good seated version. This is going to be a good standing version of essentially the same stretch. This will be really good for all that inner leg and abductor hip reach. And as someone with hip problems that get caused from squats, or maybe not hip problems per se, but hip tightness that gets caused from squats, this is going to be really good to alleviate that. But I will catch you guys in the next one, and we're almost done. Keep it up, y'all. All right, so here we got the static chest stretch. As you see here, changing positions of my body so you can kind of see where my arms are at. But you're basically going to get your hands and wrists in the handcuff position as if you were being handcuffed. You're going to hold the opposite side arm with the other hand, kind of like you're grabbing your wrists in a way, restraining yourself. And you're going to pull your chest apart essentially, and it's going to feel great on that chest. Now moving on to the last static stretch, guys. This is going to be a pretty simple one, probably the simplest one we've had thus far. Really only one body part's moving, and that's the head. This is going to be the static neck stretch. I don't recommend using your hands as assistance here. You can injure your neck pretty easily. It's a pretty delicate body part. But I just want to say thank you real quick before we wrap this up, guys. Thank you all for watching. Thank you guys for sticking through the whole video. I hope you guys have a good night, day, morning, whatever it is when you guys are watching this. Thank y'all for following along. I hope y'all got a great workout as I did. And have a good rest of your day, night, morning, whatever.